Here with me, Willie Mays. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Big Willie Mays from Amaysing Fishing.
All right. I know that we've talked in the past and whatever. And can you tell everybody what you have and basically what you do? What did you stumble on to come up with Triple X Blood?
Yeah, no problem, Paul. We're here based out of Southern California. We make the world's strongest fish attractant. It's actually an attractant that works on any kind of fish, any conditions, any water. It actually pulsates, pumps out 9 iridescent colors, and leaves a 25-foot or bigger oil slick. It can work during cold, wet times. You can inject it in baits. It's very, very versatile, and the fish will have to strike at it every 2 seconds. It pulsates and pops. And I've been making baits probably for about over 20 years. And I used to fish the program at military bass circuits back in Oklahoma, up through Texas and Arkansas and Missouri. And I just would hate it, Paul, when I'd be sitting on a big fish and someone knew I was on the big fish in that cove and that fish wouldn't bite.
Right. Was there a lot of chemistry went into that, or just Googling stuff and coming up with something that actually works like that?
Yeah, all our baits are made with food additives. So there was this onslaught of work done on the internet, pretty much just figuring out, because all the stuff is on there, what the biologists use, what the fish react to, and a lot of their things are done in areas where it's controlled. And all our testing is done where it's uncontrolled. So you just don't have a hungry fish in a tank that's reacting to whatever, or it's kind of trained like a dog. So we have our stuff like you guys tested it out in the wild and the nature recurrence and everything, at once going, and then making the bait work on every type of fish.
Right. I caught a lot of flack because of the jugs, but basically that's the only way that you can get a controlled and then your attractant. And, if the bait was missing on a hook, we considered that a fish, only because something had to rip that skipjack or rip the shad off the hooks. So I did catch a lot of flack about that, but when we go testing this new stuff that you gave us, we're going to definitely take it out and do the same thing. 10 hooks with and 10 hooks without, and see what comes up. But we tore them up that day. If you guys get a chance to look at the video, just type Team Fat Boys and then type in XXX capital BLOOD, all one word, and you should be able to come up with a YouTube video. But now, Willie, you got some stuff that I've never seen before, Super Sand.
Oh, yeah.
And what exactly, how does that exactly work if you throw the, if you put that on your bait and you throw it out? I'm kind of curious on how that works.
Okay. It's a really great product. I got into fishing a lot of channel cat tournaments and using stink bait. So, when it's really hot, sometimes the stink bait is really loose. If it's cold, sometimes it's really thick, and sometimes it's in between. And what Super Sand is a derivative of a hatchery-based pellet that are fed to catfish, plus our Triple X Blood secret formula in there. And once you have the stink bait or cut bait and you dip it in the straight blood or garlic, we make a bunch of different flavors. I think we even sent you some of the paste for the guys using lures and plastics. You'll just take the bait or the stink bait applicator, put it right into the sand, shake it around. That's going to make your instant fish candy. Now, when you throw that out, not only do you have the sand that's coming off leaving a chum trail, but now that sand also has a triple X on it. So there's little tiny pieces of home cooking, and the fish can smell it. And you have the big dinner plate of steak waiting on there with a big mackerel, or if you have the stink bait covered. Yeah, I love it with stink bait. It makes it stay on the hook a little better. It clumps it up nice and tight because it draws up the oil, and you can get a nice, load of it out there. And you can use it on worms. We have a video called Amaysing Super Sand. We show you how to make a night crawler 3 times their size. This is all on YouTube, and how we're using the bait for trout or panfish. But it's really explosive, and we've been having fun with it. We make one per trout, and we make one per catfish striper.
Right. I know we're going to get out. I know you can't see this, Willie, but this is what I'm holding right now is one of them. It's a red plastic, looks like a blimp. And when this thing, you fill it up with pellets or other chum, and you throw this out, and as soon as it hits the water, it springs open. Now, do you believe in the chumming? Using your product, maybe stirring in some rabbit pellets or something like that, and then chumming that way?
Yeah, here in California, we are not allowed to chum at all. When I lived in Oklahoma, it was fine. And if you go up Lake Havasu, you can. If everything is legal, shoot, I use everything that they allow me to use if I'm out there. But, in certain areas where you can't use it, that's when we go back to the sand. Prior to us making the sand, we had to come up with the size that was not equivalent to the size that the bait is actually made, so it wouldn't be considered as chumming. In chumming, you'd actually have to throw it out by hand or feeder. This one, with the super sand, you're applying the bait to an additive that's just going to enhance it. So guys are good with adding that to it and letting it fling off just the way that stink bait might fling off, or a night crawler, or a piece of your mackerel or something like that. It just entice them and then bring them into that area. And once they smell that home cooking, you'll get a few of your medium size, but then you're starting hitting some nice fish.
Right. Yep. We tried that day, man. We filled 2 coolers full. Of course, at that time we were catching to eat, but on that lake that we fish, it's common to catch a 5. So we were still throwing a lot of fish back in the water. But do you? I'm trying to think of. I just had that question on the tip of my tongue. But do you practice any type of CPR or pretty much you eat what you catch?
We practice CPR with a lot of the fish, and a lot of times we don't show a lot of that. You may see a little bit, you see a lot of the catches, but sometimes when we're out there, and you'll know that, Paul, we may be getting 9 or 10 fish, and only bringing in the ones that we're going to eat, 2 or 3 of them, and definitely if they're little guys, we'll let them go. And a lot of those big ones, we end up letting them go just to fight them another day and see how big they'll get. And we run an organization with the Grace Homeless Foundation, and through our tackle shop, we'll go on tuna trips, we fish ocean, and we donate a lot of fish to the homeless, and they feed all over Los Angeles with them.
Now you have a lot of products, and can you tell us each product you have? Tell it one at a time instead of combining 3. Give us a product, what it's good for, and then move to the next product, and we'll do that until we run out. But first, before I do that, you are open 24 hours to take bait requests. Is that right?
Oh, yes, sir. We have a 24-hour hotline. We will get things shipped all over the world, 3 days or less. We're one of the only companies that can send prepared baits that are in a preservative.
Right.
You got some of our shad, and they really last a long time. And we add a few things to them to make them stay dense like they should be. But what you were referring to earlier is the different baits that we have. Our first initial bait, the one that kind of got us where we're going and keep us going, hopefully, was our XXX Blood OG. This was our original bait and fish attractant. There was only one initially, and this was the one that I've used and people all over the world have probably used for the first 10 or 15 years that we've been making it. Now, this bait will actually do everything that I said. Pulsate. You'll see 4. The fish can see 9 colors. It has a strike reactor every 2 seconds. It pops. There's things that make the bait move a little bit. So it really drives the fish crazy, as if they were walking into a disco club and there was a strobe light. We would naturally put up our hands, but the fish would strike at it. So that's our striking reactor, and that's how we get so many continuous likes on our Facebook and things like that. And then other baits just started coming from that, just from people like you saying, you know, I like this and I like that. And then XXX Blood Garlic was born. And we use a lot of different oils and things in there. And when we made that one, it was so hard to find a container to hold it without it leaking. We had to stop making it for about 5 years. And guys really loved it, and we found a place that had really good containers, and they were leak proof, and then we got it going again. And guys will use the XXX Blood. It's just a really strong garlic. The fish like it. The trout fishermen love it. Guys using lures will use it. A lot of the bass fishermen use it because it can impregnate the plastic. So they'll just put it in the bag, move it around, and then it impregnates their entire bag of plastic.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's how we'll do with our jigs too for crappie. We'll just put a couple drops right into our plastic containers, so we don't have to keep doing it. And we just kept going on from there. Guys would give us different ideas, and then I would go back into my lab and I would try to mix it up in my barn. And we came up with a paste. Now, the paste is a little thicker. Sometimes if it's really cold where you're at, it'll almost be like chapstick, but guys love rubbing it on hard baits. They fish it in the ocean from 2,000 to 2,000 feet. They'll marinate baits with it. If they're just using a bunch of cut bait, they'll just heat it up and pour it right on there, and it sticks on there really good. And the bass fishermen love it on the hard baits and lucky crabs. It prevents rust too from O-rings. So they put it on the hard baits, and then we use it in the ocean just consistently. And we'll use it for trolling. It stops the lures from sticking together. We've got 7 sailfish, over 125 pounds with that stuff out in Mazatlan. So we go out and we try to test all our stuff and make sure that it's actually doing what we want it to do before we get it out to you guys, or we'll send it to Team Fat Boys and let them go out there and tear it up with you like you guys did before. But from there, we just kept going on. We kept going on, and now we have a Berry Blast. We have a Salmon Peach, which is the derivative of ground salmon eggs that is in one of the paste. And then we have a XXX Blood OG that's in a paste. And the paste was just a little bit thicker and more when using hard baits, plastic, mice tails, anything for trout. But I've used them all. I've used them all different ways. I have all of them in my truck. There's no shelf life on them, and I pretty much leave mine in the back of the truck or in the boat. Some guys put it in the refrigerator, and that will just keep it even better. But if you want to get a little stink on it, then I leave the OG just in the back of the truck.
Yeah, I had one that smelled like Susie Rottencrotch. It was pretty rank. And
I never did that, Paul, until someone told me. Someone said, "Man, I leave it out, and it smells like death." But the guy was catching a lot of fish, so I started leaving mine in the back of the truck. I used to keep it in the refrigerator all the time.
Yeah, we're definitely going to give it a fair deal, and I can't wait to get out there and try some of the other stuff. Now, is that pretty well all in your line of baits and whatnot?
Yeah, that's all the line of the attractants. And then, like I said, we make a super sand for trout. It's just another derivative of a hatchery-based food that's fed to them, and our secret formula. And you can add that to power bait. You can usually use the XXX blood, dip right into the garlic, and then dip anything into the sand, and it'll stick on there. So we'll, start spreading it out to kind of make the trout stop where we want them to stop, and then we can pick off a few big ones that have been fed pellets. They feed them 3 times a day, those pellets, so they get really used to it, and they only grow a couple pounds a year. So when you're looking for a 7-pounder, that fish has been eating pellets, no power bait or worms, maybe a few bugs. And last year we started a new thing where we went out and we netted all the bugs in our area, and all the baits are now bug infused. So for the fly fishermen, it was really, really great because it makes that fly just undistinguishable from a bug, and they have that flavor, and then they have a little texture instead of just the dry yarn or the metal.
Now, you're pretty well a full service bait and tackle shop, kind of like a mom and pop deal, and you handle all the terminal tackle and all that stuff as well.
Yes, sir. We do all of that rod and reel repair. We're one of the only stores in Southern California with a Bass Pro Shop contract, and we have Bass Pro Shop items here in our store, and people purchase, order, or they can use their card here. But we have a full service tackle shop, rod builders, reel repair, and an assortment of baits here. Also, we have the baits we sent you in the tubs are baits in a tub, and they're in 32-ounce tubs. They're pre-cut. They're in nice chunks for guys fishing big fish, or guys can call in for custom orders. We do also make it in a 1-gallon tournament tub, and we can customize just pretty much any bait that people want. Next week, we'll have our skipjack tub, so I'm going to be sending you the skipjack and the XXX blood OG. And we've had great reviews. It's just hard for us to get the skipjack.
Okay. And I guess that's pretty well it. However, I know that you've got people that have backed you along the way. Maybe not a what's the word I'm trying to use? Like a supporter or something like that that's kind of stood behind you the whole time that you've been trying to get this thing off the ground and going like you did.
Yeah, we pretty much support ourselves. Like you said, it's family ran. This year, and the last few years, like you said, it's been getting a little more than I can handle, and we've had to reach out to a few marketing agents. And we have the new website up, and it's got the full tackle store on there, and people can shop to their drop. Just right on our website, they can see pretty much everything that we have in the store, and also our baits are on there. So hopefully, with a little bit more time and people like you and people seeing the baits and loving it, we'll get some more people to pick us up and try to help us. We also do a few shows out here in Southern California. So hopefully we'll get out there one day and you'll see us in your town doing a fishing show.
I appreciate
Oh yeah, your stuff gets us really out there. There's a lot of people that actually look at that Team Fat Boys 2 videos that you've done, and they'll immediately call for the shad or that XXX mackerel.
Right.
And I don't know how, I can't even count how many references that I've had from you guys, and that's why I've always liked the videos and the different things you guys do with the baits and stuff. But you guys get a lot of feedback, and
yeah, I noticed it wasn't on your.
Tell people what works.
I know it wasn't on your video page, so, but you probably got somebody building that, ain't you? Your website.
Yeah, we got a couple things going down in Florida, and then we got a company called Dish Review that redid the website and got us with the WooCommerce and all that kind of fancy stuff.
Right. And do you have flyers out right now? You know, folded pamphlet that has all your products in it, or is it just, you know, going to the website and looking?
No, we have I think we may have sent you our new catalog. We're doing a catalog every year.
Oh, you know what? You did. Yeah, you did. I forgot all about that.
Products in it, and we send that out with all our orders, and we take it to the shows and to the tournaments. We also are contracted out for the county tournaments, so we go to all the tournaments here in San Bernardino, which is our neighboring county. So you get a lot of publicity, and anyone who likes to advertise in there, they can give us a call on our website or call me direct on a 24-hour line, and we'll get you right inside of our catalog for next year.
Yeah, they, you know, you've come a long way, I think, and I stand behind your XXX blood. I stand behind XXX garlic. There's no doubt that it worked, and had we had some more time, we probably would have got more fish. But
yeah.
I do appreciate you taking time to talk to us. Is there anything you want to give a holler out to or anything before we stop the video?
Well, one thing I want to say is I love all the people out there, and you guys are really taking care of us, puts the kids through college and food on our plate. We're not a real big business. We're just a little mom and pop. And thanks everyone who used our bait or clicked on our site or take a look at it. And if you haven't, look at Team Fat Boys video. They have a XXX Blood 1 and 2 review on there. And take a look at our different baits. They're really explosive. People back in your area love the carp, herring, and the shad and mackerel, and that tears them up. And this year we have a new stink bait. It's a hoghead cheese base that I learned how to make in Oklahoma, and I think I sent you some of that out there. So yeah, it's got a little stink on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that being said, I appreciate you taking the time, Willie, to talk to us, and as much time as you took with us, I get. And remember, if you ain't fishing, you ain't living.